everyone and welcome to RC Fun and Games. For those that are new to the channel, I am Ryan and today we're going to be comparing the three brushless systems that I've thrown in these rigs in the last few videos. So for those that have been watching the channel, they'll know exactly which systems are in which car. And for those that have just tuned in, we have got the Mini 16 from Hobby Plus in the Ford. We have got the Mini 24 Hobbywing system in the Chevy K10. And we have got the awesome new Rovering system from Injora in the IR40 Injora Bold. So we're going to start talking about the installation of each system to see which one was the easiest to install, which one is the easiest to program, and of course then we'll start talking about the performance from each system. So let's start this comparison video with the IR40, which has got the Rovering system from Injora, and we'll start talking about the installation, programmability, and of course its overall performance. So like I mentioned, we're going to start here with the IR40, which has the new Rovering brushless system from Injora, and we're going to start talking about the installation. It was extremely easy to fit. It fits straight to the 180 transmission, which is the stock transmission that comes with the 4M platform. So very easy installation. It comes with the pinion gear, so you don't have to find a pinion gear for the motor. Besides that, it's already really well set up from the factory, so you don't even have to mess with it. But if you want to set up your parameters and you want to change your settings, it is really, really easy. You've got an app in the App Store. You can just download it, connect to it, and then you can change the parameters through the app. Really easy. Of course, I will be focusing a video specifically on that in the future, but right now I'm just talking about how easy they are to work with, and the installation and programmability of this system is amazing. Now, the one thing that is a bit difficult, and it's a downside, is the thickness of the cabling, the length of the cabling, and the size of everything. It does take up a lot of space, and you do end up with quite a few cables visible. But you know what? I don't mind that compromise for the performance you get from this system. Before I move on to the next rig, I'm going to throw a battery in. This is a little TUT2 300 milliamp 3S battery. I'm going to throw it in. We're just going to run it on the desk here and see how it performs. These little 300 milliamp TUT2 batteries are really good if you're limited on space. They seem to be fitting in every rig I am limited. So a great little battery to pick up if you're looking for a small battery. Okay, so we're going to start by testing just a slow crawl across the desk over here, just to see how it performs. We've already watched them before in the videos, but I just want to show you guys how amazingly slow these systems can crawl, and just the control and power over the whole system compared to a brush system. I love brush setups and I've always run them, but the new brushless systems available on the market are really something else for these little crawlers. Now, as you can see, the FOC system works extremely well. Besides that, the system itself is completely silent. And this thing can crawl really slow, and besides that, it's got tons of wheel speed when you really, really need it. So all in all, I've got to say that this brushless system, from the installation to the programmability and performance, is extremely amazing. Now, the only thing about this system is the price. It's definitely a little bit more pricey than the two Hobbywing systems that we're going to be comparing it against, but I definitely think it's worth it. Now, let's just finish off this little line over here and see how it does over these off-camber obstacles. Uh-oh, might be in trouble, yeah. Nope. Now let's grab the next truck and see how that one performs. Moving on to the K10, this one has the Hobbywing Mini 24 system. It is really easy to install. The only thing it doesn't come with is the little pinion gear, so you will have to pick one up to do this installation. Besides that, you'll also need a program card to be able to mess around with the settings on this brushless system. Besides that, it bolts straight to the 180 original transmission, so that's a plus size. Besides that, it does perform extremely well with the programming straight from the factory, but you are going to want to pick up that program card for sure. So in that sense, I definitely give it to the Injora. It's easier to set up and program the system. Okay, so let's quickly hit this line with it and just see how it performs on the slow crawl. It's also running on 3S, the same TUT2 300 milliamp battery. So let's just check its slow crawl out over the top of these rocks. I'm starting off really slow, and as you can see, it is amazing. The slow crawl on this system is really, really amazing. And I've got to say, for the 4800 kV motor there from Injora, that can perform just like this. So I am very impressed. Now, let's just go a little bit faster. We don't want to go that slow. And let's just get over these rocks. But as you can see, you can move your finger comfortably. It doesn't shoot off or anything. It's got a really nice smooth system. I'm definitely impressed with this Mini 24 system. The downfalls to this system is the drag brake. The only thing I've noticed playing around with this thing over the last few weeks is the drag brake. It just doesn't have enough to stop the weight of this rig on a hill, and it can be quite frustrating. But besides that, it still leaves you with control over the vehicle. I can't say it just runs away down a hill or anything. So I can't complain about it, but I would definitely like to see on the next version a little bit more drag brake available on this Mini 24 system. Besides that, as you can see, the FOC system and the smoothness throughout the throttle range is impeccable. Definitely got nothing to complain about over there. Now, we are going to take them out so we can go and do some speed runs just to compare the three systems as well. This is a 3500 kV motor, so it also has quite a bit of wheel speed, but we'll see exactly which one performs the best when it comes to that in a minute. Now, when it comes to slow crawling, they all seem to perform extremely well. I can't say one is better than the other. They all just seem to do the job exactly how we want. Now, let's just finish off this line, see how we get over this off camber bit. Check the flex out. Oh, come on. Big wheel lift on this side. And that's it, we're up and over. Okay, so as we can see, the Mini 24 system also performs extremely well. The Injora system, to me, also performs extremely well. Both are extremely good setups. Now let's move on to the next one and let's see how that one performs. Now, moving on to the Ford F-150, this one has the Hobbywing Fusion Mini 16 system, and it was definitely the worst one to install out of the three. First off, you are going to require the 372 transmission to be able to get this motor to fit. Besides that, you have to cut the shaft. You also have to sand the shaft down to be able to fit the pinion gears that are available. I know there are 2.3mm shafted pinion gears out there, but for me, I couldn't find anything locally that I could order to do this installation. So that is definitely a downfall. It was considerably way more difficult than the other two systems to install. Program wise, it's the same as the Mini 24 system. You use a program card. So don't forget, if you want to program these systems, you are going to need that program card from Hobbywing. Okay. Now, the overall performance from this system is just outstanding. I think this is an amazing setup. It's got so much power with this big motor. Let me just stop talking a bit and actually show you guys what this thing can do. Now, I'm using the radio link setup on this one. It performs all the same. They all got an amazingly slow crawl. As you can see, it's just so smooth. And out of the three systems, I would probably say this is the quietest one. The others are silent. Don't take me wrong. I can barely hear them, but you can hear them. This one is completely silent. Now, when you take in consideration the installation of this system, I definitely don't recommend this for somebody starting out in the hobby. I would rather get a bit of experience before you try and do an installation like this. The other two are a lot easier to install than this one. Now, when it comes to performance, as you can see, it delivers a really smooth crawl. It's got such a nice programmability. In my opinion, this is definitely an awesome powerhouse for a rig like this. The system is definitely a little bit more bulky than the others, but because the electronics are installed in the back of the motor, it actually leaves you with some more space underneath the platform to fit all your wires and everything else. So I can't complain about how big the system is. To be honest, it was actually easier to fit than the Mini 24 and the Rovrin system when it comes to installation of the electronics. The fact that the others have these big boxes, and as we all know, these have very little space inside, so can be quite challenging to get everything to fit. And having the electronics on the back of the motor is definitely a plus side. Now, when it comes to programming, like I've mentioned, you use the program card, and compared to the Injora Rovrin system, it is easy enough to do, but of course, with the app, you can do it on the fly when you're out on the street. And I think that's an awesome feature, and all brushless systems by now should have that feature. But still not complaining about the program card. It is still easy enough to set up, and once you buy a program card, you can use it across most of their systems. Now, as you can see, the slow crawl of this thing is just amazing. Once again, you've got a really nice throttle control with this system, and I've got nothing to complain about. Okay, before we run out onto the mountain over there, I just want to talk about the gearing I'm running in these. These have both got underdrive 40 by 3 by 1, and this one has the 29% underdrive, which comes stock inside the 370 transmission when you order it from Injora. So it's a pretty fair gearing throughout the platforms. Now we're going to test the drag brake on the hill, and we'll also check how they hold themselves up on hill climbs. And then, of course, we will do some speed runs to see which one gets the most wheel speed with the brushless combo. Okay, so now we're going to hit this double hill going up the mountain over here, and we're not testing the slow crawl anymore. We know it can do that really well. I just want to see how it holds itself back on the hill so we can compare it to the other two systems. So let's get up here. I just love how nice and smooth and quiet these systems are. Okay, so now we're getting to the steepest part. We'll let it climb up these rocks right here, and I'm going to stop. Shake our servo and everything. You can see the drag brake is working really well on this system. Got nothing to complain about. Now let's grab the next rig and let's see how it does. Okay, so now we got the Chevy K10, which has the Mini 24 Hobbywing system, and we're going to test exactly the same thing. Let's send it up the hill and let's see how the drag brake works. Now let's just get to those same rocks and stop in exactly the same place. Okay, and as you can see, when I let go, it starts rolling back. Now I have programmed the system. It's got max drag brake activated, and it still allows it to roll back. This rig weighs around 900 grams, and it definitely doesn't have enough drag brake for this kind of weight. So hopefully in the future these little systems will be able to have a little bit more drag brake, but so far it's still got a really nice modulation. You can easily control it on hill climbs and going down hills. I can't complain about it, but you definitely are lacking drag brake if you completely let go of the throttle. Anyway, let's get over this and let's grab the Ford. Okay, now with the Ford that has the Hobbywing Mini 16 fusion system, let's check exactly the same thing. I just want to point out how silent and smooth the Hobby 16 system is. The Injora and the other one is also very smooth, but there's just something special about this motor. Anyway, let's just get to the top here and let's check drag brake. So same spot as you can all see, and playing around with the servo, it doesn't run away at all. So the drag brake on this one is definitely a lot better than the Mini 24 system, and you've just got such nice control over these systems. All three deliver a really nice smooth crawl. I really am impressed with the overall performance from all of them, but as you can see so far the Mini 24 is the one that's falling behind. So let's move on to the next test and let's see how they do. Okay, so I'm at one of my favorite locations. I've picked my son up from school. He's going to be driving the other rig for me. We're going to do some speed runs down this section. I've got a camera at the end so we can see which one goes past the line first. And of course, whichever one wins goes against the Roveren system, so we can see out of these three brushless systems, which one gives us the most wheel speed. Okay, Luigi, are you ready to rip?
Yes.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go! Turn around. You ready to come back? Let's go! Okay, so as you can see, the Mini 16 system has more wheel speed than the Mini 24 system, which I'm actually quite surprised about, because that one is a 3500 kV and the Ford is a 3000. So I was expecting the Mini 24 to actually go faster. Okay, so we've got the IR40 and the Ford F-150 on the line. Let's see which one's fastest. Luigi, you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go! Okay, let's head back. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, so you took off a bit late, but yeah, you definitely catch me. Okay, so as we can see, the Ford F-150 definitely won that one, and we are now going to take the IR40 and test it against the Mini 24 system. Let's see which one's faster. Okay, so now we've got the K10 and the IR40. Let's see which one is the fastest. Come on, Luigi. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, the IR40 is definitely faster. Want to have another rip on the way back? Come on then. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the Hobbywing system definitely took the win over the Mini 24 system, but the Mini 16 Hobbywing system definitely beat them all. Now, these two trucks both have exactly the same gearing, so you can tell the difference between the 3500 kV motor and the 4800 kV. Another thing I notice is that the Injora motor has got a lot of punch to it. Now, the Mini 16 also performs very similar to the Injora motor, so when it comes down to this, I give it to the Mini 16 and the Hobbywing motor from Injora. Now, let's do a super slow crawl test and let's see which one crawls the slowest. Okay, so now we're going to do a crawl race between the three rigs. The last one over the line is the one that wins, so let's set them to the slowest crawl we can and let's see which one gets over that line last. Okay, so all three of them are set to the slowest crawl possible. Now let's see which one goes over that line last. And as you can see, the crawl is so slow you can't even see them moving on camera. All three of them perform extremely well. As we can see, the IR40 is definitely the one moving the slowest. Then it's the Mini 24 system, and then it is the Mini 16 system. And I've got them all programmed on the throttle, so as soon as they start moving, I have left the adjustment there, so they're all equal, and you can clearly see that the Mini 16 system is slowly rolling away from the other two. The Mini 24 and the Injora are both moving extremely slow, so clearly they are going to take the win, and I would say that the Hobbywing system is the one that's crawling the slowest. So as we can see, the Ford F-150 is crossing the line. It's definitely got the fastest slow crawl out of the three. And I have literally set it at the first increment when it started moving is where I've left the Ford, so it's definitely crawls a little bit faster than the other two. Now if you pay attention, these are still sitting in the same place. The controllers are just sitting there like that. I've got them all turned up just so they can start moving, and as you can see, these two are definitely fighting it out. The Injora is staying a little bit behind the Chevy, so definitely winning. Okay, so as you can see, the Ford's already run miles away. The Chevy is going to cross the line next, and then the IR40. So definitely the Hobbywing system takes the win on the slow crawl. Before I wrap up this video, I just want to talk about a few more features that these brushless combos have, and something that they share across all three platforms. They are supposedly all waterproof, so that's something we definitely got to still test in the future. Besides that, they all have the auxiliary tab. These ones only allow you to control the drag brake on the fly through an extra channel that's still open on your receiver. Now, the Injora system allows you to do a lot more. You can or have control over your drag brake on the trail, or you can control the amount of power going to your servo. Now, talking about power to your servo, both of these systems have 6 volt or 7.4 volt available for the servo, and the Hobbywing system has all the way from 6 volt, if I'm not mistaken, all the way through to 10 volts. So another awesome feature about the Hobbywing system. Now, after all the testing we did and everything, some performed better than others, but overall my two favorite systems have got to be these two over here. The Hobbywing Mini 24 system is an awesome system, and I'll definitely be using it in some other rigs. It's an affordable setup, easy to install and easy to program. Now, the Mini 16, like I've mentioned, was a lot harder to install, but it's definitely worth the effort because the end result is amazing. Now, the new Hobbywing system from Injora, I am completely blown away by it. Considering we are comparing it to two systems that are some of the best on the market, and it kept up no problem. To me, it's definitely an amazing contender, and I definitely think it's worth what you pay for it. Now, depending on the rig that you're building will determine which motor combo you're going to want to select for your build. If you're building something quite light, more of a comp build, I definitely recommend the Mini 24 system. If you're building something that you want to haul heavy trailers and other things like that, I would say the Mini 16 is probably going to be your best. And if you want something that performs really well overall, I would definitely say the Rovrin is the one for you. Now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope I covered all the bases that you guys wanted to see about these 3 different brushless combos. If there's anything I missed out, feel free to use the comment section. And of course, I will always try and make another video comparing these systems. Now, before I run away, I just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and it really helps me bring more content like this to all of you. So until the next video, happy trails, everyone.